Greetings and salutations. This is Vespasian.
And his trusty sidekick.
Oh yes, sorry, and his trusty sidekick. Sorry,
me.
I slipped up there.
Change my name. It's me now.
You know that me.
It's not him anymore.
Yeah. Okay. We are bringing you the second video of our new upgraded World War II Chinese infantry for bolt action. In my last video, I showed you my first squad that I managed to rebase and repaint, and I've gone into the uniforms and stuff. But in this one, I'm showing you the support squads. Support squads? They're technically support squads. Basically, usually we have our figures based individually. If you haven't watched the last video, you have a couple of guys like that, and you put them together, and that's the weapons team. What we decided to do instead is to base the weapons teams or the support squads, support teams on the same base, because after all, they are actually two people working together as a team, or three if it's something like a heavy machine gun or mortar team. So it just kind of makes more sense to actually have them based on the same base. Yes? Yeah. You have an expression on your face, I assume you're about to ask a question.
Number one.
Yeah.
How come this guy, the observer, is on the road with a map on the road for cover?
It's just two figures on a base.
From there.
How do you know they're not actually next to a building? So they're actually peeking round the edge of a building, or maybe there's an armoured car next to them. And basically you can see the observer there. The observer here, he's got his glasses on, he's wearing his field glasses, he's got a map, and he's putting his arm out and he's going, left, left! Because the artillery has come down to the right, and he said left. So he's basically shouting an order that the artillery is coming down in the wrong place. I think that's quite...
It's all in your head.
Yeah, that's all stuff that goes on in my head. Yes, that's... I give all these people little names and stuff. I personalise them.
I mean, why is one of these guys called Han?
Because he's a sniper.
So? It's called a sniper.
Yeah, he's a sniper. He's a famous sniper. Never mind. Right, so, that's the observer team there. He's got a little map, pair of binoculars, and there's his friend just there. There's a badge on the sleeve of all Chinese. That is the army army recognition number. Basically, that's the 88th Route Army. Or is it the 81st?
I don't know.
The guys who fought in Shanghai, withdrew to Nanking, and were finally basically disbanded and turned into what would become the main defensive force for the nationalist forces.
I've got an idea for you.
Yeah?
Ask them, they're brainier than us.
What, they're YouTube people?
They're brainier than us.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay. Anyway, so they have the chaps there. He's my observation team. He comes in very handy for bringing in airstrikes and artillery barrages. Not that the Chinese have much in the way of artillery, but technically, according to bolt action, use artillery. I think all they had was a handful of 105mm German howitzers, and that was about it. Plus anything they could steal off the Japanese. Anyway, next one is the anti-tank rifle. Okay. What? What?
Why has he got blockers?
Did you speak English then?
Why has he got blockers? I can't say it.
Why has he got what?
Blockers.
Binoculars.
Binoculars.
Why has he got binoculars?
Yes.
Yeah, you need to go for elocution lessons. Basically, he's spying out the enemy tank and he's saying left a bit, right a bit. Basically, the reason that you have guys with binoculars, you have a spotter and then you have the actual shooter. They operate the same as a sniper team. And the guy with binoculars has basically much better vision than the guy firing the gun. So the guy fires the gun and the guy with binoculars can say how close it is to target. As far as a sniper goes, the sniper actually has binocular vision himself. He has a scope on his rifle, but the spotter looks at the whole area to find targets. That's basically Why? With anti-tank teams, your guy with binoculars is there to basically say how good the shot was, if he needs to adjust his fire. Yeah. So it's a standard anti-tank rifle. I believe it's Russian, the anti-tank rifle that he's got there. I think there's one in the German box as well. Is there one in the German box? I can't remember. I know my Germans have.
I didn't unbox them.
Yeah, I have a few anti-tank rifles. So that's the standard anti-tank rifle that the Chinese are using. He's also got a rifle laid next to him on the pavement, so he could always use his rifle in defence. And that's it. That's the anti-tank team. I think he just looks quite good, that guy. I like him. He was the first big base I did.
Why are there two of them, exactly?
Because you're a team.
Why are you a team?
Generally, one guy carries the gun and the other guy carries the ammunition. Typically.
Makes sense.
Typically, that's what you do. If it's a mortar, then one guy carries the base plate for the mortar, one guy carries the barrel, the other guy carries the ammo. Basically, that's how it works.
I understand why there's two of them for snipers. It's pretty easy to...
Yeah, over to the sniper. This is the sniper here. I was originally going to do him inside an actual... On the base, he was going to be inside the house.
With
the pavement on the outside. But then I thought, this sniper's a really good sniper. So this guy is actually going to look through a hole at one side of a blown out building so he can shoot through the building to hit the enemy on the other side, and the enemy will shoot at the building instead of him because he's a really clever sniper. So that's why I did it this way. I just thought it would be fun to do it like that. And I was experimenting on how to do the bases. That was the second one I did. And I was just sort of working out what you could actually put on a base with the figures. So I was having a bit of fun with it, and I think it came out alright. Basically, you've got the observer looking over, and you've got the actual sniper guy. He isn't actually firing his rifle, he's got his rifle next to him, and he's looking with his binoculars as well.
But the other guy's doing it.
Yeah, they're both looking. They're both saying, hang on a minute, are we going to shoot here? What do you think we're going to shoot? What about a guy on the left?
But what happens if he's got blockers out and he sees the enemy, but it's too late because it's going to take him too long to get his rifle out?
Because snipers don't usually hang out really close to the enemy. They usually are somewhere else, and they wait for the enemy to come within range and then snipe them, generally.
But he's too busy looking through his blockers.
Yeah, and if you're fighting in the big city fights that took place, there's no such thing as a front line. On a map, you can say, hey, we hold this bit, they hold that bit. In reality, one guy holds the basement, the other guy holds the top.
What happens if you do a battle called Snipers versus Infantry?
How many infantry are you using? How many snipers are you using? If we're using bolt action rules.
5 snipers.
5 snipers, and how many infantry?
20.
20? I should guess the snipers would win. Because the snipers would get 5 action dice.
And
they'll be able to target the enemy officers first, then take the enemy machine guns in.
And a tankette.
And a tankette? Oh, the sniper's pretty much stuffed then, isn't he? He's going to have to take on the tank with grenades.
Make him lose his morale. By killing all the infantry.
Yeah, you could do that if the infantry and tank are part of the same unit. If they're not part of the same unit, the tank has separate morale and doesn't care if the infantry all get shot to death. So yeah, So grenades. Interesting point about grenades. The Chinese, like the Japanese actually, used a stick grenade, which is basically a handle with a grenade on the end of it, and the idea is you pull a string and the grenade is armed, and then you throw the grenade and it goes off. Usually has a 7-second fuse. You can cut the fuse down to whatever you want, and some grenades were designed to go off on impact, although in bad weather they tend to just blow up while you're holding them.
Yeah.
They're dangerous things, grenades.
I don't want to miss one.
The worst grenades were the British and American grenades. Slightly less so the American grenades, but they had to be shipped vast distances and they tended to be in storage a lot. So by the time they came to be used, they often just didn't work. British grenades were made by unskilled labour. The British, rather stupidly at the outbreak of war, put all the men into the army. These guys who were actually trained to make weapons were put into the army. And so women were brought in with no skills, no training, and expected to build precision anti-tank weapons, which is why British anti-tank weapons were pretty much the worst all round. Sorry, they were. They were just inaccurate and very seldom actually detonated. The Piets, only about half Piet rounds ever actually went off. Mortars, same there, about 2 in 3 went off, which is why there's so much ammunition lying around Europe, because so many of our shells just didn't detonate. Even worse in World War One. And like most of all the shells fired in World War One were never detonated. The Germans actually relied on British shells to get ammunition. So yeah, these types of grenades can be used as they're concussion grenades, basically. You've got 2 types of grenades. You've got fragmentation grenades and concussion grenades. Concussion grenades kill by shock. So they only really work in close spaces like trenches, buildings, things like that. Fragmentation grenades don't have the shock value. Bit of a flashbang to them, so they can stun you, but they don't kill you internally. Instead, the shrapnel is designed to spread out and cut through your body. Very nice things. So generally, the concussion grenades are better in close areas, whereas the fragmentation are best in the open. So in the desert, we had the advantage over the Germans. They had concussion grenades. So in the desert, we could throw grenades and do a lot of damage, whereas their grenades didn't do much. There were also fragmentation variations as well, which very seldom ever got out. An interesting thing though about the German grenades is, unlike our grenades, which were rather silly shaped, you couldn't really tape them together. The German, we had to build harnesses in order to tape them together, and even then they weren't much use. The German grenades, you can actually tape grenades around the outside of the grenade, so you can turn any grenade into an anti-tank grenade. Massive concussion and shock will knock the tank crew out, even though it can't penetrate the tank. Just interesting. I thought that was interesting. Anyway, I'll shut up now. Any more questions?
No, that's everything.
Yeah. So these are our new Chinese, all nicely based on their new shiny bases. More to come, but these are the ones I've got done so far. I hope you've enjoyed the video, and over to my trusty sidekick because he knows all that other stuff.
If you enjoyed this video, please do like and subscribe, and comment down below if you like these figures.
Yeah. Once again, if you enjoyed the Chinese, if you're thinking of doing Chinese yourself, just ask me anything you need to know.
And I hope this helped you.
Because I think this is great. You may have noticed about me by now that I don't tend to do the thing that everyone else does.
You want to do the opposite to look cool.
No, I just get annoyed with people always doing Northwest Europe. I find it so unbelievably boring. Northwest Europe is just so dull. And also games, most rule systems don't really cover Northwest Europe properly. The armies were not evenly matched. No. Anyway, that's besides the point. These are my Chinese and they're awesome. I'm now beginning to think, what the hell am I going to be doing with my Russians and Japanese? So,
good luck.
Yeah, I'm just going to leave that on the back burner for a while. And here's the Chinese. Enjoy!
Bye!
And thanks for watching.